Have you ever realized that sometimes in your life you feel like running and sometimes you feel like sitting there and doing fuck all? Have you ever realized that like sometimes you're supposed to work super hard and other times you're supposed to just rest and let the work do its thing? Have you ever realized that in the gym sometimes you're supposed to be going crazy hard, lifting to failure, and then other weeks you're supposed to be deloading, letting your whole body recover from all of the intensity you've put on it? See, there's an exquisite balance like of life. And this is like the most foundational video you need, because without this video, you're just not gonna make it very far, because you don't realize that you can't just push at 100% all the time. That there's a balance on these, like I'm gonna give you like 30 different principles, and there's a balance on this thing. And throughout your life, this needs to change. You can't just stay at your same like base, you know what I'm saying? Think of yourself as a dial. Everyone is their own dial. You are like a base, like a board. You've got 100 different dials here. These are the things you need to do with your life. They're changing throughout your life. You need to continue to tune it. The reason most people fail in life is because they set their dials. They set who they think they are, and they don't expect that shit to change. And most people, this is right around college. When you stop going like to college and stop going to school and stop learning, and you're not around a ton of new people doing a ton of new things, there's nothing new to do. And so that's when people get in their full-time job and then they start doing nothing. They start just doing the normal. And then they just go in this cycle, and this is when time speeds up because there's no new experiences, and then the dials never change. You're gonna have periods in your life where you literally work 12 hours a day, every single day, for like a year straight, 2 years straight, 3 years straight. But then after that, you're gonna have a period where you're going to chase, spirituality and all of this other shit. Like, this is what I'm starting to realize. Like, future-based for Ben is like, there's periods right now where I'm just fucking, I swear to God, all I do is work, right? Work, learn personal development shit. And outside of that, I hang out with friends like twice a week. All of my time, when we really look at it on a conundrum, like a fucking scale of the amount of shit I do versus the amount of fun I have, it's like probably 90-10. 90% of my time is spent working. And that's completely fine for my part of life. I'm still trying to get the results. I'm trying to lay the foundation for my future self. And so when you're trying to lay the foundation because your past self did fuck all, you're gonna have to work super hard. And this is like, when you have this image, it makes you understand, because otherwise, if you're looking at my life from the outside, you're seeing this kid who just works all the time, who is basically nothing outside of work. He's doing really well on this. He's really good on the personal development side too. But it's like, you're gonna look at him and go, he has no fun. But what you don't realize is that the dials over his life are gonna change. It's like, for one person, what they want in their life is not the same as the other. And so this is why, like, it makes it easier to see why people do the things they do. And also, without this, you're gonna judge other people because you don't realize they're at a different part of life. Every single person, they need to be doing something different. If everyone focused on themselves and their own dials, living their own lives, there wouldn't be no fucking conflict. There would be no fucking problems, because everybody would be too caught up in their own shit, fixing their own lives, focusing on themselves, to give a fuck about anything going on in the world. Because your dials is a lot of fucking work, hun. All right, let's go on to them, because I think that's all I have to put on there for the intro. The first example is going to be work and play. There's going to be periods in your life where you need to work super hard, and there's going to be periods in your life where you don't work super hard. School kind of gives me like the best example of this, because they did this a really well way. Basically, you're working for the 9 months, and then they have the 3 months to rest, relax. It's a 75-25 split. For most people, you're never ever going to get this part of your life back until you unless if you develop yourself and build a business and fucking make shitloads of money. Because most people become wage slaves after school, and then they never ever get the split back. Their life becomes more of a like 90-10 split like mine. But they have a 90-10 split without the results. And so this is where life becomes rough, and you have to make sure you future plan for this shit. This is me. This is my own fucking opinion on this shit. But you have to future plan for this, because otherwise you're never going to get out of this split again and ever get to have a summer vacation. Have you ever realized that you go from school where you get 3 months off doing nothing to when you get to work, the max you get off is a week? A fucking week? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much can you rest in a fucking week? Not much, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't give you the amount of time away to really get back into the flow of things, you know? And so that's just like something really smart to think about. You're gonna need, like, especially if you want to be a creative person, you need a lot of time alone, not working, you know what I'm saying? Also, who the fuck really wants to work for the rest of their lives? Like, I think everybody can agree that, like, there's a balance there. And I don't even think 90-10 makes no fucking sense. Like, if I spent 90% of my life working and 10% of my life, you know, actually hanging out with friends and doing fun shit. I went to the Dells this Sunday. Like, if I spent only 10% of my time doing fun shit like that, it's so boring to me, you know what I'm saying? Especially since one of my values is adventure. So I feel like adventuring at least 20% of the time. Like, if I could double the amount of fun shit I do, it'd be good. And that's why I plan so many fucking events. That's why I do so much shit, bro. Try to. The next example is one I came up with, which is lifting versus deloading. You know, when people first start lifting the gym, really young kids, they don't realize that there's a time in your life where you're gonna have to lift way fucking less. You're gonna have to lift way less hard. Your whole life, you're not just gonna go to failure on every single set. And if you do that, which some people fucking genuinely are stupid, that's when people get injured. They don't realize there's balance between lifting and deloading. There's balance between, I mean, if you do like 3 months, even if you're brand new to the gym and you go to failure on every set, after about 3 months, your CNS, your fucking brain is cooked. If someone doesn't realize the balance here and don't realize that, they're gonna fucking run themselves into the ground. I did it. I fucking did it because I never learned about the balance in the gym, the balance of recovery, the balance of nutrition, eating enough calories versus not eating enough calories when you're trying to cut weight. You see what I'm saying here? I'm giving you so many fucking examples. And the thing is, if you push many of these things too far, you just get fucked. Like, you actually just get fucked. Because your body can only go so far to one of the sides usually before it like flips over. And so I guess my example of this is like with cutting weight. If you cut weight too fast, you lose all of your energy and then you can't lift weights as well. And then you lose a fuck ton of muscle. That's what happens if you literally cut weight too quick. It will happen to everyone. The next thing is going to be personal development and spirituality. The reason I put personal development and spirituality on here is because when you go into spirituality, you realize that nothing matters. Me making this video, me going to work, saving all this money, working towards my retirement, trying to develop these skills, becoming the best Ben possible. Ben doesn't exist. You'll learn that too in spirituality. Becoming the best me, it doesn't fucking matter. And so you have to, there's a middle ground here between understanding like the real world fucking exists, but at the end of the day, still none of it matters. And so in my life, I've realized that there's a balance between right now, I'm fucking working super hard, right? I'm developing a ton. I spend a lot of time working, developing my sales skills and everything like that. But in my free time, I'm researching either one, like metaphysics / like mind shit, understanding how the mind works and stuff like that, human psychology, stuff like that, or spirituality. Like, I'm also working on the spirituality side of this, so there's a split there. Because I know that in the end, nothing I do in this real world is going to fulfill me at all. Not even this YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is closer to something that I actually feel like attached to, because it's fucking me putting out everything. Sales, I feel absolutely zero fucking attachment to. But this shit, I mean, it's actually me, bro. Like, it's me completely, authentically trying to give my best fucking advice. So, like, if the channel got fucking taken down, that shit would actually suck ass. That shit would actually hurt me. Would it change much? Not really, but it would fucking hurt me. Because I put so much time and energy into it. And over the next fucking 10 years, I'm gonna put so much fucking time into this shit. I'm gonna record so many deep fucking guides on everything I've learned in life and everything I continue to learn. And so it's gonna be like fucking life-changing and make me feel good about myself, because if someone finds the fucking channel, it's like I kind of gave them a fucking path. Or at least I gave them a good fucking idea. A lot of my videos aren't even to give someone a path. It's to give someone an idea. Because I can't give you the advice you need. I feel like right now, in the middle of the video, this is the best time to say this. You're the person that has to tell yourself. I can give you the advice, I can give you the roadmap. But you have to make your own decisions. You have to find out the balance for yourself. Nobody can tell you your balance, because nobody knows you. you most likely don't even know you because you are made up. You've made your own character. This is why I always say you can kill yourself, is because your own mind made up whoever the fuck you think you are. And so if you want to be someone else, you just make someone else up. This is like the weird part of the mind, bro. But yeah, you get to choose your own fucking dials, who you want to be. But you need to know what period of life you're going into so you can adjust the dials in your lifestyle design. Do you want more personal development right now? Do you want more spirituality? I mean, if you're deep diving into spirituality, then you need more spirituality than personal development. And what you'll learn is that a lot of these things aren't 50-50. Like, most of them do not go 50-50. My work fucking play balance is like 90-10. 95-5. It's like, it's extremely skewed. My personal development, spirituality, it's extremely skewed towards the real world. Because that's the part of life I'm in. I'm not in this fucking yogi. Ben's like, fucking no. I'm not fucking yogi right now. I remember in the summer, I was always making a joke. I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking become enlightened and fucking become a yogi. So I was fucking with my parents when I was looking at the wall, trying to find my purpose. Oh my God, dude. That was fucking hilarious, dude. All right. The next one is going to be left brain versus right brain, which is basically logic versus intuition. There's a balance between being super fucking logical in this life and just trusting your gut. Now, for me, I've learned that most people that are super logical, they're always in their head, which is basically like trusting their brain. My brain doesn't think very well, bro. Like, genuine to on God, dude, my brain has fucked me over most of my life. Like, you have to think, I played, 3,000 hours on Rust? Like, if you think I'm trusting my own fucking brain, oh, hell no. So most of my life is trusting my intuition. I don't fucking use my brain. I try to leave that motherfucker off. I do what feels right. Now, for some people, if their job is like doing math or doing something super like logical, like econ or something, like, then you need to super use your brain. But something like sales, especially for me, like, that's a lot of fucking intuition. Talking to people, that's intuition. Most people, like, my friends, bro, we were talking about this, like, advice for social anxiety. And he said, like, to my other friend, he said, yeah, dude, just make sure you think about what you're going to say. I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, dude, that's why you have social anxiety. Because you can't get out of your head. But it's like people, like, and then I say shit like this and people just don't believe me. It's like, fucking dude. I'm like, RIP, dog. But yeah, most people, they're in their head so much so they have social anxiety. They don't ever know what to say. Like with sales, I mean, if you want to be your true authentic self, you can't be thinking. It's just you there, saying what comes up, doing your own thing. Like, a lot of this shit's natural. Like, you can use skills and everything, which I use, but it's like, if you're always in your head thinking, oh, what's gonna happen here? What's gonna happen here? It's no fun either. Like, you got to be in that current moment. That's what I see with with like the logic versus intuition. The next thing is external focus versus internal focus. How much of your life is going to be focused on the external forces? Chasing money, chasing girls, chasing all of these things. Versus your internal focus of what do you want in life? Because you'll realize that there's like a difference between what other people want for you and what you actually want. You realize that what most people want for you, isn't truly what you want. So how much are you going to trust and chase what other people are chasing versus become your own self? Dude, there's like mosquitoes bombing into my fucking ear, dude. That's crazy. How much of your life is going to be ran by internal forces, the drive that wakes you up in the morning and makes you want to do things, versus how much are you just going to do things for a reward? This is something that I feel like most people won't get to discover until they make the money and become financially free. Because until you basically have all the money and you can retire and fuck off for the rest of your life, how the hell are you even meant to, like, I mean, you can try your hardest to do like this psychology trick where you say like, oh, I have all the money, but it's super hard until it's tangibly in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, until the money's in your bank and you see it, it's hard to think like, okay, there's no point of money anymore. Going on to money, the difference between art versus business. Like, how much of this YouTube channel is a business versus how much of it is an art form? You know, there has to be a balance there. Because if I never end up making money off of this shit, if I never end up becoming financially free because of this, then I kind of failed on my actual dream and purpose. I actually kind of failed on doing what I wanted to do. But who knows, maybe my dreams changed. But what's the point of making this art if nobody watches it? What's the point of giving this advice? What's the point of leaving this path here if no one ever watches it? So there's a balance between, having some shit that's cool, making some videos that are super cool and super helpful, but also marketing it so that people watch it. The next one's gonna be openness versus protectiveness. There's a balance between being open with others, telling everybody everything about you, and realizing sometimes you shouldn't share shit. Like, this is something I really have to fucking work on, because right now I'm in a very open period of my life, but usually what happens is someone gets burned and then they close and they never open again in their life. And it's traumatic because it ruins the rest of their fucking life without them realizing, because they never had this video, realizing that sometimes you need to be closed until you find the right person. Then you open up. There's always a balance. There's always a balance you need to be aware of. The next thing is seriousness versus playfulness. For me, I'm way more of a playful person. I'm never going to be serious. Maybe later in my life if I go do something more like serious, but at this point, like in my life, way more playful, because that's my personality style. That's who I am. And so why would I go against who I am? There's gonna be someone watching this that's way more serious. That's what they like to do. They like to be the serious macho. They like to take life super seriously. But for me, it doesn't work. Listen, I would, for a lot of these things, you just learn that they don't work with you. When I take life serious, one, I get worse results, but number two, it makes me frantic. It makes me anxious as fuck about everything. I'm like, oh no, am I doing this wrong? Am I doing this wrong? That's what happens when I'm anxious. But when I'm just in the moment and I'm just playful doing my own thing, everything just seems to work out and I just don't care. So it's it works better for me. That's my play. That's how it works for me. And for everyone, it's different. The next thing is going to be change versus acceptance. How much of you do you need to change versus how much of you do you just need to accept yourself for who you are? See, the thing where people mess this up is they say, oh, just accept yourself for who you are. But that's the balance, as if you are the person you want to be. If I just accepted myself as the gamer who hated himself, would that have fucking helped me in my life? No, it wouldn't have. So telling people just to accept themselves isn't stupid as fuck. Because there's a balance between accepting who you are now, but wanting to become your actual fucking self. This is another part of that. Most of the times, accepting who you are now, you don't even know who you are. You don't even know who your true, authentic self is. You're fucking made up in the Matrix, in your own mind. From all the bullshit content you've consumed, you're literally the combination of all of that. The trauma you had in the past that you never healed from. What else would be a good example? The teachers that fucking made fun of you or some shit. The teachers that didn't treat you right. The kids that didn't treat you right. The food you ate. This is the combination. You're a combination of bullshit. And so accept who you are now. It's you don't know who you are. Especially until you do personal development and change a ton. Once you do personal development and you change a ton, then at my current point in life, accept who you are now. Jesus. I've learned so much. I've tried really fucking hard. I'm gonna continue to try. I just accept who I am now. I'm 100% towards I don't give a fuck anymore. I just accept who I am. But for much of my life, I needed to go through depressive stages of thinking I was a fucking loser to get to where I am now. And that's the hard thing with this personal development stuff, is you realize that everything that happened was actually meant to happen. And the ways that you go through things, they're painful as fuck. They hurt a lot, and you wish you could stop someone from going through it, but it's what they have to go through. If I didn't get bullied a ton and change, that's what had to happen for me to become and find my true self. All of the pain and the suffering I've gone through in life, it had to happen for me to become who I am now. The next example is going to be spending time with others versus being alone. This is another painful one in my life that I learned out the hard way. For most people, you're going to go through this period where you think you need to be alone. And so you go alone. But then you don't realize that was just a period. That was a balance. That was you doing this mechanism where you spent all your time with others. So then you flip to spending your time with no one. And then you get super depressed and you're like, what the fuck happened to my life? I fucking hate myself. I hate everything. I want to fucking die. And you become like super romantic, and then like I was super depressive. And then you realize like, oh my God, I have no fucking friends. Oh, when I hang out with people, I enjoy that. Oh, I just needed a better balance between hanging out with people and being alone. So you have to find your balance between being with people and being not with people. For girls, it's going to be way more skewed towards being with people. For guys, it's not going to be as skewed that way, but it's still going to be a good amount of with people. You have to understand you're a human being. Human beings are tribal creatures. We lived in a tribe. We were always with others. So if you think that just, oh, it's fucking 21st century, you know, I don't need to be with people, you're just stupid. Really, simply put, you're stupid. And so just think for yourself, what percentage of your time do you want to spend with other people? What percentage of your time seems right? And try that. And then if it doesn't work, you try another thing. Like, this is all trial and error. And you end up in the right spot because you actually tried. Most people, they don't get anywhere. They hate their lives. They die with regret because they never fucking tried. They never tried optimizing their life for personal development and everything else. Just give it a shot. The next is going to be rigidity versus flexibility. Or rigidity. I don't fucking know. Basically, how much are you going to fucking flex versus how much are you set in stone? How much do you let people change who you are? How much do you let the world change who you are? And how much are you just going to do what the fuck you said you're going to do? This comes down to perseverance too, I feel like, too. How much are you going to persevere when you fucking are having a hard time versus how much are you just going to throw in the towel? For every person, like, during each period of their life, I mean, it's going to be different, the things you'll quit and the things you'll stick to. So you have to have that set in stone, what your non-negotiables are, is what it really is called and what it comes down to. The next one's going to be action versus theory. I actually just made a video on this recently, on how, like, there's a balance between learning and fucking doing hella shit. And that balance, I think, for most people will always be more towards doing hella shit over not doing shit. But, like, for me, for, a year of my life, I spent only reading books. I spent basically only fucking laying the groundwork for where I am right now. Like, I wouldn't make the money I do now. I wouldn't be the person I am right now if I didn't lay the groundwork. So this is where I'm saying, like, it changes. And that's why I can't tell you how much you need to learn versus how much you need to take action. You have to look at your own life. What have you done? I mean, if you spent nothing, your time doing nothing over the last 3 years saying, I'm going to learn, and you didn't learn shit, and you didn't take action in the real world, then there was nothing point of that. You know what I'm saying? You know now, I need to go take hella action. The next one's going to be practicality versus vision. How much of your life is going to be just in this fucking moment, looking around you, thinking, oh my, okay, this is what we're looking at, versus vision, future. How much do I envision versus this channel versus what's going on right now, practicality in the moment, what am I looking at? How much do I envision my future? How much money do I think I'm going to have? The girls, all this shit. Versus practicality, what do I have in this current fucking moment? There's a middle ground between thinking about the future and not thinking about it and just being present. This is the crazy, like, dude, this is the craziest shit to me, because when I thought about all this shit, I'm like, dude, this is why I'm such a dumbass most of my life, because I never did the middle ground. I always skewed so far one direction, and then it threw off my whole life balance. All right, this is my finishing remarks. That's the only thing that matters. You have to live your own life. That's all I can leave you with. I basically just gave you the whole fucking roadmap. Your whole life is just balancing these things, learning other things, seeing other things, and balancing those. You can't ask anybody for how to balance your life. You can't ask anybody for advice on what you should do with your life. It has to be from you. You should learn hella. You learned from that. There was that one thing. You should learn hella, but also you spend hella time taking action. Not a single moment in your life are you going to set these knobs and they're going to stay that way. Not a single moment. You're never in your life going to find the maximum perfect you. Because when you find the perfect you, something's going to happen in your life. You're going to learn something new because you're going to keep learning, and then you're going to change the knobs. If you set the knobs and you think they're going to stay that way, you've ruined your life. You're never going to reach your full potential. As soon as you realize that your whole life you're going to be changing until the day you die and you're never ever going to find all the answers, then you'll fucking live a good life. Trust me. But if you live one of these lives where you think that there's just some secret that you're missing, just some not just combination, and your life's just gonna be bliss. It won't. Life is a never-ending search. That's what the human brain loves. And that's why I think looking for your potential, your actualization and shit, that's why that shit is so enjoyable to me. Because I realize that it's a never-ending search for who I truly am, who I can truly become. One day I won't work all day. Don't worry, boys. One day I'll actually go on vacation and enjoy my life and the money I make, but today's not that day. Let's get to like fucking $500,000 in the bank. And then you'll see me letting off the gas. Maybe. It's the balance of my life. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with someone. This video would help a motherfucker out. Join the Discord down below. Have a great rest of your day. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.